Yay.
Now it makes me want to go get my cocktail hat, but no, we're going to stay put and we're going to start the party. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday night to everybody. I am so happy to be here with everybody at Art Party Central. Just want to go over a couple of technical things. If we have any major technical difficulty at all and we end the party abruptly, we will post the updated link on our website at the top of our homepage at artpartycentral.org. And please come back if that should occur. Now that all that is out of the way, let's have a quick cheers to all being together at Thursday night arts party. Raise your glasses and cheers.
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 We're about to mute everyone. Please don't be offended. It's how we roll and it's just Zoom protocol. And I remember to unmute again. Okay. I'm Karla of Karla Gudeon Art and Design. I have a line of hand watercolored engravings and goods and gifts for the home. And I'm so pleased to be your host tonight. I also want to give a shout out to another Art Party Central co-founder, Sam Stone, who is our of Swan&Stone Millinery, who is our co-host for the day and evening. And everything you see in the chat in terms of getting links and direct links to artist website and keeping track of your questions for the after party, that will be handled by Sam. And she can also be seen on her website where you'll hear more about it from Nora tonight at swanandstone.com. Enough about me. I'd like to tell you about who we are joined with tonight. We have 6 super amazing, fabulous, talented artists here. We have Nora Swan from Swan&Stone Millinery. We have Shana Kroiz from Shana Kroiz Jewelry. We have Christine L. Evans, Alex Lozier from Alex Lozier Jewelry, Lara Van Slyke from Lara B Designs, and Lula Castillo from Natural Sir. Let me tell you how this party is going to shake out. Each artist is going to give a presentation, and then if time allows, I'm going to ask them 1 or 2 questions that were previously submitted. At the end of the party, we're going to raffle off one $50 gift certificate to each of the artist websites. So that's 6 chances to win, but you have to be present to win. So please hang around to the end of the party. We're also at that point going to give you a coupon code good for all 6 of the artisans' websites, as well as myself, the host, and the co-host for 10% off. And at the end of the party, we're going to open up for chatting and invite you to unmute yourselves and mingle at an after party should you choose to stay. So let's get to the fun stuff. Our first artist today is Nora from Swan&Stone Millinery.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Oh, good. Welcome to the creative chaos of the upstairs studio where the trimming of the hats happens. And I thought I would talk tonight about the thought and the artistry that goes into the trimming of our hats. The shapes of the hats are very important. The color is very important. The overall effect is very important. But another key element to our designs is the trim, of course. And so hats are such personal forms of expression that a lot of thought has to go into the symbolism and the sourcing and just the overall sort of layering of the different elements of the trim on our hats. Sometimes a hat will sit for a month and I'll be playing around several times a day with different things to see what works, what doesn't, and it will take a while for it to sort of develop into the right style. Other times it's like it was waiting to pounce. The trim was like totally designed and ready to pounce on the hat before the hat's even ready. So I don't know what that is. It just sometimes comes one way and sometimes another. I think also, Sam and I both, our moods definitely show up in the styles of hats as we do it, and you can really feel it. I have a strong feeling that people can sort of sense this one's not quite done but I'm playing around with these big feathers here. You can sort of sense the mood that we were in when we made the hat. Sam's felt is particularly like that. Here's another one. So there's a lot of mood, and it's just they're very communicative. So one thing I wanted to talk about tonight is the landscapes influence. We're up here in Vermont. We're very scrappy in Vermont. And so we end up putting a lot of the landscape into our hats, not just the color and texture and shape, but also quite literally we'll put landscape things into our hats. One thing this time of year, as the snow melts, is we keep finding, because we're out and about, we'll find things that the snow has unearthed, including, I don't know if you can even see this, rusted bits of metal. These are two very bent old nails from a barn. This one is a complete mystery what this piece of metal is, but I also used rust to dye this band. And it's sort of putting the rusted metal in particular on the hats is like an homage to the generations of people that have been working in the landscape, working with their hands. And I always love to find little bits of the past. Another thing I'd like to highlight is the driftwood, and sometimes it's pieces of the root of plants. Sometimes it's grasses that have interesting shapes to them that I put on the hats. And again, it's sort of like, I'm also a forager. And so I just tend to gather things from the landscape and put them onto the hats. It makes me feel connected to the landscape, and it sort of elevates things that I think are important and that don't usually get highlighted in that way. Another fun thing I put on hats. Oh, I was going to show you guys. So let me put on a fun hat first so that you're not looking at my icky hair. I wanted to tell you, a neighbor recently called and said that she had something for us. And a quail, which in the springtime, the animals are out and about, a quail had flown into her glass window. And being a Vermonter, she ate the quail, and she saved me the wings and the breast feathers of the quail. So I'm going to be putting that on a hat. So this is sort of a volunteer quail. And a lot of times that's the case. People will they'll have a turkey feathers or chicken feathers. For a while, I've forgotten now. Sam, I don't know if you remember what the mean rooster was. We had a mean rooster, a friend with a mean rooster, and she finally called and said, okay, I'm ready to give you the feathers of, I can't remember, it's Buster maybe? Anyway.
I don't remember, but we had a couple mean roosters of our own at our house.
Yes, yes.
Put on hats eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then let's see, I've lost my train of thought now. But...
I'll butt in now, Nora.
Okay, butt in, thanks, because I've lost my train of thought.
Everything is so fascinating to me, and all these pieces and the found things. Would you use something custom if somebody came to you with some form of family memorabilia, like jewelry, a tie, a button, something? Will you incorporate that into a hat on request?
Yes, we absolutely have. We've done that for bridal parties. We've done it for people who have, one woman had inherited the ties of her father and wanted ties to be put on her hats, which we've done actually already, because it was another thing that was sort of a resource that was readily available, and the silk of ties is so gorgeous, and vintage ties. So we've done that. Jewelry, broken jewelry, not broken jewelry. What else have we done? We've done keys. My grandmother's antique house had a bunch of old skeleton keys, and we did some of those for people.
Oh, skeleton keys would look great on a hat. And also I'm thinking of like some jewelry I have of my grandmother's that like I don't wear, but I want to wear in a different way and commemorate. What a fabulous thought.
Yep,
Have you
ladies.
ever done, weird question. This is not a question from the chat. Have you ever done like silverware, like somebody's old silver that they're not?
So funny that you should say that. I went through a whole phase of being obsessed with old silverware. And so I used to actually wear it in my hair and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so totally anything you can think of that's the right size, I think we can figure it out. So
And hanging out with you and
has something that you love that you'd like to wear with you and carry with you and have conversation started. Get in
I've
touch
been
with-
hanging out with you and Sam so much. I'm thinking like a milliner. I love it. What are some of the other most unusual things you've used as trim?
So the weirdest thing hat I think we're right now that we've got in the studio is this wooden cocktail hat, and it's got the rusted springs from an old truck that was on Sam's farm. And then I've done some beading on it. I don't know if you can see it, but there's little beads on there, and it's a wooden cocktail hat. that you wear
That's
like
so
this.
whimsical. I can't
Yeah.
wait to get back to you in the after party.
Oh, wait, well, let me say one more thing. So the
Sure.
weirdest thing though was tiger whiskers that somebody gave us that used to be a zookeeper.
Okay, that wins. And we have a winner there. Thank you so much, Nora. You were terrific. And we are going to pass it on to Shana.
Hello, everyone. So good to be here. This has been a great day. We had our early party and our night party. So today I want to take you on a tour of my gallery. For those of you that don't know me, I am known for my very sculptural, three-dimensional jewelry. It is very lightweight as well as sculptural. So I'm going to take you for a quick tour. And I hope you can see over here in the corner, I have all that really bright, fun, colorful work. And I really go into different palettes as I'm working. Over here, I've been concentrating a lot on this white and gold, which is really a beautiful combination of materials. The color that I'm working with is actually called, it's powder coating. It's the same material that's used in car painting. So it is very strong and sturdy, but it looks and feels like enamel, which for me is just super exciting because I started out as an enamelist and I enameled work for many, many years. And I've just recently made this transition to the enamel work. So for instance, these two pieces here are enamel, where that green necklace pendant in the back is actually powder coating. So you can see I'm getting a similar look, and it's a lot lighter, a lot more durable, easier to work with. I also do a lot of work in just straight sterling silver and 18 karat gold, either with vermeil or solid 18 karat gold. So there's a big range technically in my work. I am known for my double-sided earrings, which we will come upon, but all of my earrings, even though they're quite sculptural and seem like they have a lot of volume to them, they're all hollow. So they're really lightweight and super wonderful and easy to wear. And as you can see, I work in straight sterling silver, a lot of oxidized silver. I think oxidized is a really nice way to see the form and shape of a sculptural piece. So I do that a lot. And these are some of the bracelets that I'm working with. So that's a quick tour of my gallery space. I'm going to switch this around. And if anybody has any questions for me or would like to see anything specific, I will pull it out. Or I can keep just chatting about different pieces that I have.
So this is a bit of a departure for us, and I'm loving what Shana's offering to us, which is that we can move to questions earlier and seeing specific pieces. So feel free to unmute and pop up, just pose your question right out there or put it in the chat. Right away, we have somebody asking to see the double-sided earrings and how they go on.
Okay, great. So I'm actually wearing a pair, and they're so lightweight. You can see there's no pull on my ear at all. The front side has a white gold post, and it goes directly into the back of the earring. It's actually embedded right into a rubber gasket. And what's really great about these earrings is when you wear them backwards, there's no back. So you can put them in from behind and you get a totally different look. And again, they're the biggest thing is that they're lightweight. They're really interesting and sculptural from the side, and people get to see an earring in a totally different way. Were there any, oh yes, and they're mixed. I see that in the chat. Yes, they can be mixed and matched. I have people that have like 6 different pair and they switch the colors and styles, and they do them in ways that I would have never even thought of.
So somebody said you moved very quickly, and was
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
green serpent?
The green serpent. So
I think she means maybe the earring and the way it sits on your ear as interpreted that way.
so these are green earrings that these are a really dramatic pair, and when they're worn, they were actually designed for Paris. I did a fashion show and they were designed for the runway, but they've actually turned out to be quite popular. It's again very lightweight, so you can get away with this really dramatic shape, and I do them in all the different colors and finishes.
Actually, I meant the necklace that's right where your hand is.
This one?
Yeah.
So this one is a newer piece, and this is the powder coated, not the enamel. Also, it's super lightweight, and these are my very traditional sculptural forms. A lot of stuff is aquatic and sea life inspired. They're super fun to wear, and I really try to make work that you can be elegant at night, but yet kind of rugged and fun during the day.
Hold
So
it
I
up
like
and
my work to
still
be
for one
versatile.
more second. Hold it to the camera and still for one more second, so we
Yep.
get that still close up. Oh, that's great.
So that's 24 karat gold fused onto the green. And I don't know whether you can see it, but the green has a lot. You see the gold luster that's in the surface of the green. So it's really beautiful. It's hard to capture on film. It's a really beautiful surface and finish. And I do a whole line of this green color pieces.
And the other question in the chat is somebody wants to see a closer view of the necklace you're wearing. So I don't know if you want to walk closer or take it off.
Yep, I will take it off. So I love, this is new. This whole elongated pod series is new. And so this is, it's a translucent red with the 24 karat gold. I haven't done it with this, but I have been doing, I'll grab it. I've been doing it where they're reversible. So I have it in blue. So on one side, I do the 24 karat details. And then when you flip it, I can do it with silver details. So I am happy to do them that way as well.
Oh, that's super. So it's like, you don't have to put it in your gold drawer, your silver drawer. It's
Right.
like,
Right. I've been trying to do a lot of that with some of these, because these are simpler and more elegant, and I can really, there's really a front and a back, where a lot of my pieces are so sculptural, you can't make that transition.
I love that. It's like, I love that like dance in the middle that is. How are the elongated pendants on cable wire? You know what? Shana's going to get back to you about the price question. And I have a question for you. We only have about a minute, but about the technical thing that I'm not quite understanding. What is the difference between when you say electroforming and the casting?
Great question. So electroforming is a process where you actually grow the metal over the wax. So the metal is quite thin, but yet structurally very strong. And casting is a process where you carve the wax, and you just carve a really thin amount of wax, and you replace the wax with metal. So it's just, it's much thicker. The casting is going to be thicker and heavier. So in general, my bracelets would be cast. Because they're going to take a lot more, and rings because they're going to get banged around a lot more, where an earring or a necklace that I need that super lightweight, and especially the larger forms, I use the electroforming. So the electroforming definitely feels the density is less because it's a much thinner surface of metal, but they're both metal. They're both either silver or gold or copper and vermeil. They're all metal. It's just a different technique. I'll start with carved wax.
Necessarily like, you can't gender jewelry or gender who should wear it, but there's something about your jewelry and the shapes as an artist that remind me of the female form. It's almost like a life drawing of a woman that you could wear on your body. And
I definitely consider my work, and I think it's an extension of who I am, just to be very sensuous. And I really believe in celebrating women, and for us to feel elegant and sensuous and beautiful. And I think that relates through all my work.
I totally see that. And I think our party goers tonight are going to see a thread that there's a lot of that female sensuality going through the artist's work that we're showing tonight.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to go to Christine, and Shana will see more of you at the after party. And thanks again. It was great. And Christine, welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm Christine, and I'm so happy to be with you here today. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm speaking to you from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am a ceramic figure sculptor, and I create art that celebrates the power and the beauty of the female spirit, or the feminine spirit. I really love to create work that also emotes confidence and strength and beautiful emotions such as wonder, peacefulness, and joy. Another thing I love to do with my sculptures is to add little elements of nature to adorn them, and things like usually foliage, usually like leaves and flowers, but sometimes rocks and coral. I've used a variety of different shapes and forms from nature to tell the story of how we are all connected through our earth origins. So this piece right here is a really good example of that. This is called Matura Garda, and Matura Garda, or nature guardian, is essentially like the angel of the wild. She is the spirit being who guards those original connections with our heritage, being from the earth. You can see on her body, I have little appliques of ceramic leaves that travel over her body all the way onto her wings. And I'm going to show you the back of the wings so you can see that the leaves actually have turned into feathers at this point, and they are a part of her wingspan here, which is really broad and has a lovely stance. And this piece was really fun to make, and it was inspired by a book that I read about 20 years ago. I read a book by Clarissa Pinkola Estes titled Women Who Run with the Wolves. You may have heard of that book. It was a wonderful book in which she reimagines common fairy tales such as Hansel and Gretel and Beauty and the Beast and a whole variety of fairy tales from different parts of Europe and elsewhere to really speak about the psychological growth of women and how women find their place in this world. So it was a wonderful book to read as a young woman. I think it really influenced my path as an artist too, to have a deeper meaning to the work that I do. So like Dr. Estes, I'm trying to tell a story here of an allegorical figure, a spirit being that protects women and also protects our wild natures and brings confidence to women to believe in their purpose and believe in their beauty and their power. So that's what this piece is about right here. Now we're going to move this camera down to the other end of the table so I can show you some more pieces. These are masks that I made most recently. This is my most recent work. And last time I was at an art party, I showed this piece here, which was all white. I had just put the undercoat on, sort of like a background for all the color. The color hadn't been placed on there yet. So this piece is now done. It has all the color on there. It has gold leaf on the halo. And I have 3 companion pieces to that as well. I really enjoy working with these figures. These little figures also sort of tell a story. You know, some of them are allegorical, some of them are made up personas. I get to explore different facial expressions, some sleeping designs or some awake and hopeful designs. And I love playing with, experimenting with different textures and patterns and little elements like the flowers and dragonflies here and these ribbons of clay, which make such a nice, almost like a headdress or head wrap for the faces. So I have a lot of fun with these masks. I give myself a lot of free rein with them. And what I've done is I've created these for people's to display on their tables, on their mantelpieces, on their dressers. They're meant as companion pieces to go with other forms of decor, like potted plants like we have here in the back. And I'm going to just show you also this wonderful fossilized shell that I picked up, which looks particularly good, I think, next to even the smaller pieces, but also next to the larger. I love how things like that from nature can go beautifully with my ceramic artwork. And here's a lovely vase that a friend made me that I just put some branches in. And this is a nice companion piece to some of these smaller masks. So what's so nice about these masks is that they can help to form unique and kind of character-filled vignettes in your home. So that's been a fun experiment, and I plan to have more of these masks. If you go to my website and you go to the shop tab, they're under the shop tab, all these pieces, as well as some wall hung pieces and many more things. So do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, of course. You know, Christine, it was so funny that I was literally writing in the chat how much I like creating vignettes in my home and how this would be perfect, and as you were talking about the idea of the vignette, and I love how your faces tell a story. And to me, it's like, again, I think I said this to you before, it's like women are trying to unmask and show their true selves, and you're calling it a mask, but it has such an open heart and it's such an outward expression of womanhood that I think it's so beautiful. Can they hang, or do they have to be stationary like that?
No, actually, yes. Thank you for those comments. It's wonderful to hear your feedback, first of all. I love it. And yes, they can hang. This one is for the tabletop only. It's mounted on the stand only. But these three are built for hanging on the wall. I just want to show you the hole right here. Let me go up a little closer. You can see this hole. These have a hole that goes over the stand, which is a metal stand, but they also have a keyhole in the back, and that can go right over a nail or a screw in your wall. Gotta get it lined up and just pull it down. And so they hang beautifully on the wall as well. And I just really love how there's that versatility built in, so you can move them around your house to different places. They don't have to
I
stay.
love how clever and practical that is. And there's a great question in the chat, which is, would you take commission to model one after an actual person?
That is a great question. You know, I would definitely consider that. I have not done that before, but I would love to try. So please include your contact information, like your email, if you're interested, or contact me through my website, and we'll definitely talk. Yes.
That's one of the most special things about Art Party, is connecting with the customer to this, because it would be so, I would think for you, it would be so rich and rewarding to know the person you're making it for, and that it's meaningful in a significant way.
It is. It's really important as part of the whole cycle of creation. You don't want to just make something and then lose track of where it goes or who has it. It's important to know that.
Can we get a close-up? We have like 30 seconds, but can we still get a close-up of that beautiful full sculpture you showed us at the beginning, Natura, and Nature Guardian, I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. This, I'm just going to go ahead and come closer to her face. And I just kind of want to show you her wild windswept hair. And as we turn around to the back here, I'd like to show you a close-up of these wings, which are really fun. And she's got a wonderful stance. She's all attitude here.
I hope it's not rude if I say she has a great butt.
She has a great butt. That's right.
It's really fantastic. Your details are extraordinary. I'm a detail girl, so I'm like totally ogling. And thank you so much. And we're going to hit you up again at the after party.
Okay.
And that was a beautiful presentation, really meaningful. And let's move it on to Alex.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me here. For those of you that don't know me, I am Alex Lozier. I'm a jewelry artist and a magical talisman maker. And even though I am formally trained as a silversmith, my true love is stones. So I'm kind of a crystal freak. And what I love about crystals are all of the different shapes and forms and color patterns that the crystals allow me to work with. So this piece is actually made out of onyx. And if you look at the back, I really try to integrate the metalwork into the natural qualities of the stones as much as possible. And the stones also give me a really great range of colors and textures to work with. And I'm also very interested in the energetic and magical healing properties of stones. So this one, it's actually, it's called an Apophyllite Crystal. So this one, it has like a very angelic energy, which you can kind of see from just by looking at it. And this is all about like connecting with your spirit guides and also your life's purpose. So these ones are amethyst and citrine crystals. And again, I really do my best to, with the metal work, just really showcase the integrity of the stones. And you can see with these metal settings that I'm really just working with their natural forms. So these are earrings.
Ah.
I know everyone loves these earrings. These are like my favorite earrings to wear. People like know me by these earrings when I wear them.
Will you show us later on, put them on for us?
Oh, sure. I'll put them on in the after party. But yeah, so I also love making chains. So this is a labradorite piece. And labradorite's a really fun stone because it has a lot of magical qualities because it's a shapeshifter and a color changer. And again, just really trying to integrate the metalwork into what the stone has to say. So I kind of liken my creative process. It's more like being a psychic medium than it is being an artist. It's not really about my creative vision. What I'm doing when I'm working is I'm actually channeling the energies of the stones and I'm working with their natural properties. So that's for me how the pieces develop. So this is a fun piece because it has this natural turquoise. So this is an interesting texture with all of these are all different stone beads. And then this stone is prehnite with Peridot inclusions. So again, it gives me this big range of colors and textures and I just love it. It's so fun to work with. And a lot of clients actually come to me with specific properties that they're looking for in a stone. Like maybe, for example, somebody is looking to increase their prosperity or they're trying to manifest some money. This bracelet that I'm wearing here actually is a really great prosperity stone. This is Peridot. So that's kind of a fun one. And it was just St. Patrick's Day yesterday. So, you know, if you want to invite the luck of the Irish into your bank account, that's a really good one. But yeah, stones have been used for thousands of years for their properties that they can help bring into your life, and you can wear them as a magical talisman. And what that means is that you are wearing a piece of jewelry with a specific intention. So you can do that for luck. You can do that for attracting love. You can do that for protection. You can do it for pretty much anything. So it's just kind of a fun way to bring a little bit of extra meaning into the jewelry.
I love that. To me, I get chills. I get little goosebumps when I think about the intentionality of the pieces as well as how beautiful they are. Look at those.
Thank you.
They're so wonderful. Do customers request specific stones?
They do. So some really common ones that people ask for, if somebody is looking to maybe like increase their confidence, they might be looking for a citrine crystal or something with this kind of like golden color. We talked about money manifesting. That is a lot of stones that are in that green palette. Specifically, Peridot is a really good one. People that if they're looking to, connect with their spirit guides or deepen their spiritual practice or maybe have some kind of opening. Amethyst is a really great stone for that because it's a crown chakra stone.
That's
And also a lot of people want to attract new love into their life or maybe feel a reignited passion for a relationship that they're already in. So ruby is a really great stone for that. I personally have dedicated my entire left hand to ruby because ruby has so many amazing energetic properties and it's also beautiful. So
I love that. Need me some ruby.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Whenever I talk about ruby, I'm like, is there anything that ruby like really can't do? It's just, it has such an amazing energy.
It's a great name also, like a kid or a dog.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to know if they have a specific stone that they already have that they want to recycle. Will you work with it?
That would really depend on a case by case basis. I'd be happy to take a look at it.
That's great. And can you show us that earring board again and just talk about it for
Sure.
30 seconds?
It's hard to get them all in there. There's
And
just so many.
those are lots of geodes and fossils.
Yeah, they're this top row. These are called Ammonites, which are fossilized shells from Morocco. And then the row below them, these ones here, these are geodes. So this is when a crystal forms little drusies inside of a hollow cavity. So they're really sparkly inside. I'm not sure if the camera is picking that up. And then these ones down here, these are actually, they look like stones, but they're made out of metal. They're all hollow formed. So these are actually really fun little geometric earrings that are really great and lightweight. And you can dress them.
Those at the after party also. We'll have you put those on.
Okay, yeah, great. I'll pull
We're
out
out of time. I just love seeing all the faces in the Zoom squares, how they're looking at your work so intently, because there's so much meaning behind it. Thank you so much. And we are going to move this over to Lara.
Hi everybody. So good to be here. Thanks again, Art Party Central, for having me. For those of you who aren't familiar, I'm Lara with Lara B Designs. I design and create a collection of leather handbags and accessories. All my styles range from larger hobos. I have totes, clutches, wallets, and then also a variety of crossbody styles. So I'm going to start today with the Clio, which is a crossbody, or you can actually wear it as a shoulder bag. It does have a leather adjustable and detachable strap. And I want to share this leather because it really has a shimmery, iridescent kind of quality when the coloring, actually, when the sun hits it. It's so pretty. But with the Clio, it comes with a large, very large, deep front pocket. And then I hand cut all of the fringe on the front, so it gives it a real fun detail. Then inside you have a zip top and then also another large interior zip pocket as well. And with the Clio, I do offer it either with the front fringe as the Clio or as the GG without the front fringe. So same properties or same features inside the bag. But here you can see I have it in the gold scale and then in the mauve as well. So there's lots of other colors on my website. Of all of my styles come in a variety of colors. So if there's something you don't see, just ask me and we'll make it up for you. The next piece I'd like to share and debut, I'm very excited, is the Audrey. So this is my latest style. I decided to debut today on Art Party Central. This is your classic bucket bag. And what I did is I made a leather linked strap that you can put on your arm, or you can actually put it on your shoulder. This piece, this leather, is I called it a blue herringbone. It's actually like a tealy blue color. And then the bag has, your top drawstring with a little mini tassel. The interior is fully lined with an iridescent purpley blue lining, and then a large back pocket that can definitely fit yourself. So this particular piece is definitely limited edition in the blue herringbone. I was able to actually make it in the Scout as well. So just FYI, and I do actually I will be making this style in a variety of different leathers. One of my other leathers I haven't made up yet. It's new. It's I call it a silver distress. So it's a little bit more matte than what I usually work with. My other leathers tend to be a little bit more sparkly and shiny, but this one is shiny, but it's not. It definitely has a matte sort of distressed feel, and so buttery soft. I'm excited to work with it, so stay tuned. And then another piece I'm going to share is my Phoebe. So this is always one of my favorites. This particular one I made it's an Italian gold crackle leather. So the Phoebe either comes with a top zipper or without. Definitely it has a front cell pocket, and then your back little fringe detail. And then on the inside, you have a large zip pocket. So plenty of space for security to keep everything safe. And it has a beautiful, beautiful drape when you have your things inside. So
Lara, I'm going to want you to continue your presentation, but there is a question in the chat that I cannot wait to ask you, because I've never heard you answer this question, and I'm so excited to hear the answer. Toby asked, how do you name your bags?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I started naming my bags based on dogs, female dogs. I know it sounds really weird, but Lara B, the B in the name of my company, the B stands for Basil, which was my pet, my Westie. So that was kind of my thing. I love animals and dogs, and so that just became kind of a thing. Whoever had a female dog or animal, I would always sort of, I don't know, I just kind of went that way and picked the names that way.
I was just going to write in the chat, but I'll just say it. It makes such perfect sense because I feel your connection to your bags in every design. They feel like you, they feel lovely, and like you can feel the heart that goes into it and the emotion. So the idea that you're naming it after beloved pets, somehow just, I know it's weird, but it makes perfect sense. I just love that.
I can't just say, oh, after dogs, but there's definitely emotion and a story behind it. And then some of them I just have a feeling. I mean, this actually, Audrey, it reminded me the Tiffany blue, and it, I don't know, I was just sort of thinking one day, the feeling, and that's where Audrey came from. So
of these bags, do you have plans for summer for any new colors, new leathers, things like that? Can we know about sneaks of things coming out?
I do. I definitely have on order 4 different leathers coming. So just some oranges and blues, some summery brighter colors, snake prints, and then some.
And orange is one of those colors people think they have to be brave to wear, and almost everybody looks cooler the minute they put something orange on.
It's my favorite color. So I'm really, and I didn't do like a solid bright, orange. It'll be mixed with other muted colors and some whites and blues and things like that. So there's different leathers. I'm excited.
Oh, that's super, it's super exciting.
Yeah.
And the mixed leathers you do, can you customize that for somebody if they see you have a certain vision of some of the mixed things that they'd like to be able to, almost like Shana was showing us mixes of something you could wear gold and silver. Do you have things you could wear black and brown or black and gray?
Right. Exactly, kind of color blocking, like you had said. This is a style that I have done that, kind of mixing my Midnight Star with the Black Platinum. So it's a piece that I made that, it definitely, if you wanted different colors or, I would work with you on obviously what I have, and I'm happy to do that. I think it's so fun.
I hope somebody orders one so I can see it at art party at the next one.
The next one. I know.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to get back to you. This is terrific. And now it's gone so quickly, but we are up to our last but not least presenter of the evening, my Lula Castillo that I am so proudly wearing tonight.
Thank you, Karla. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. My name is Lula Castillo from Natural Sur Organic Jewelry. What I do is I recycle seeds, beans, nuts. I also work with citrus peel, lima beans, and I create this lightweight, eco-friendly accessories. So as the weather is changing and we transition into spring, and I've been working on colors. So I got into the pinks, teals, and some other colors. I used to do very light. I used to do pastels, but now I am getting more into bright. So I want to show you something pink. So and also I want to show you, this is made of a citrus peel. So these are citrus that I punch. The little ones are acai seeds from the acai berry. And the middle one is the tawana. This is the lightest pink I do. So all my necklaces are adjustable. So what you do is you open it up and put it over your head and make it just as you decide length, so you can choose the length you want. The next shade in pink, I have this is like my medium pink. This is more like a statement. And over light colors will look this. I like that. I like this piece as a choker. And the next one is a very, very bright pink. This is the most bright color I guess I have. So this looks like this over black, and it will look like this over light colors. So you can also make it longer depending, or really short depending the top you're wearing. The other color that I've been working is the teal. So I work also, even though it's the same dye, I can depending how long I dip it, it goes lighter or darker. So this is the lightest teal I have. And again, you can make it shorter or longer. This one will go right with the navy blue or blacks. All my pieces go great on a gray. The next shade on a teal is this asymmetrical piece. This has been one of the favorite pieces. So I did this is medium teal, and I left this in a lighter. You can also make it shorter and shorter, kind of rotate it, and it gives you like a little style. And the deepest teal that I made is this piece. I have it here, which also people like it because of the sound. This is a very special piece. I named it the rain because it kind of like sound like the rain. So, and I like this one as a choker too. So that's a very, very bright teal. And then another thing that I've been working, because people has been asking me about flowers. So I'm doing, I used to do a bolo and a single, just one flower, but now I'm making the 3 flowers. So when you can do with this is you can move the flowers. I like this, or you can get them all together. Also, you can, if you're wearing like a dress, you just let it hang lower, even lower, like that. Or you can make it as a choker, so you can leave it hanging up there. I have this flower in yellow. This will go with more with the brown colors or the oranges or the greens too. And same thing, you can move the flowers, you can spread the flowers. And I have the same in purple. And what I did with this one is I added a little pink, so you can see a little pink in the purple. Sometimes I like to combine colors. And same thing. So longer, shorter. I really like it as a choker somehow. And I have another design with the flowers, but this one are more flat and a little bigger. So what you can do is spread them out so you can get a different layout. So the flowers are bigger and flatter. I have this one in this blue and in green. I used to do this color for the fall, but now I'm making it for people, earthy color lovers. They like browns and light yellows, light greens. And I have another one. It is, the flowers are also little, it has a little texture, but it's smaller. And what I like about this one is because they're less and it is smaller, so you can sort of wear them in one side and make a different style.
Lula, I just love it. And I love how movable and adjustable. I know with this one, I wear it all the time, depending on what I'm wearing at different lengths. And for Zoom, to wear it high up, it's so perfect. I could actually, you might think I'm crazy, but I could actually see you wearing 2 of the flower polos at a time, one with them up the neck to the side and the other coming straight down. Like, I think that would be stunning, like you're wearing the entire garden.
Yeah.
What are some of your best sellers?
Most of the time, people like the multicolor, so I put all the colors I use in one necklace. So, and also this one has a sound, and this is how it look over black, and this is how it look over the white colors. And you can have a little sound oven. Another one in the multicolor range is this one, and I really love this one. Very, very short, like a choker. So I like this one very short. Another one that is in my favor is I recycle lima beans. They're originally from Colombia. So it's the lima beans, the acai seeds, and the rose is made of citrus peel.
So one of my favorite things about your work is the way you're wearing the necklace now, which is, you know, I was thinking earlier about this trend towards capsule wardrobes and everything solid, which to me as an artist, a little bit dry. And, you know, you put on one of these pieces and you've pizzazzed up the whole outfit and you've made a statement with color without having to think or work too hard, which is super great. And especially on Zoom, like I know I love this and this length for Zoom. Do you have other Zoom recommendations? We have about 10 seconds and the rest we'll take up at the after party.
Yes. Well, it depends what you're doing on Zoom. When you are having a nice event, like a fun. This is one of my asymmetrical pieces, like a grab some attention. This is great. This is royal blue and green. And I have another one that is being good for the Zoom. Like if you have like a more casual, this is my 4-way necklace. So you got like like you wearing black, or you want to add it a little color, so you have the red, you can make it shorter here. Closer.
There goes that versatility again. Oh, man.
Or
You are always impressing me. And again, I think I put it in the chat, but I love how those with the hollows feel so mid-century modern,
Or
like
you-
total cool.
you can make it like this, or the last one, you can make it like that. Let it drop, open it, and if you're wearing like a long dress, just leave it as a long pendant. So
I love it. Thank you so much, Lula. And thank you so much to all our artists tonight. I'm so impressed with everyone. As an artisan myself, I know what goes into this and the heart and the love. And I love you all for presenting here with us with Art Party Central, and it means the world. And I think you're incredible talents. And I also want to thank everybody for coming, for making this possible and helping us create this platform that we have to share with you and connect. And I want you to know how appreciated you are. You're why we make our work in the first place. And you are what nurtures us and pushes us forward. We love having this to connect with you. We want to see it grow. So please, please, please tell your friends, bring your friends, tell your friends this is what you want to do on a Thursday or a Saturday night with your friends and get together here and hang out. And don't forget to follow us on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc., and email. But even if you just get an email, our weekly newsletters, we put our hearts into it. So if you just want to send back, like reading this, loved it, that's going to go a really long way to encouraging art at this crazy time. So I don't want to delay much longer. I think it is time for everybody to unmute and cheer our $50 gift certificate winners. We encourage you to unmute and cheer with us. And if you're one of the lucky winners, we'd love for you to post your name and your email in the chat so that we can email you easily with your gift certificate after the event. And especially, and I can't emphasize this enough, especially if your Zoom name is different than your email address that you RSVP'd with, we won't find you unless you put in the chat. And if you're uncomfortable putting it in the public chat, you can always private message your email to me or our admin, Swan&Stone Millinery, waving right there to all of you. So very excited to present these winners. And we're going to start with the winner for Swan&Stone Millinery. And I apologize in advance for any names I butcher. I really want to get it right. Swan&Stone Millinery, the winner is Monica Gold. Monica, congratulations.
Yay, Monica.
Yay.
Okay, I'm going to need a little help with this one. For
Wait,
Shana.
Karla, 1 second. Monica Gold, it looks like, was kicked out and just popped back in. So can you announce it again? Because I don't think she heard.
Yes, our winner for Swan&Stone Millinery is Monica Gold.
Yay.
Votes for the goal. All right, that was too corny. The next one I totally need help with because the first name is only the letter M, Wormser. And that's for Shana Kroiz Jewelry. M, what's your name? Unmute.
My name is Marjorie.
Marjorie, nice to meet you.
Oh, congratulations, Marjorie.
Marjorie Wormser. And for Christine, finally an easy one. Bobby Rafferty. Congratulations, Bobby. Christine Evans winner. Alex Lozier. I blew that one. We have a winner at Justine Law. Justine.
Yay.
And for Larabee, our winner is Roz Gimminger. Roz, congratulations. Happy Thursday. And finally, for Natural Surgery Lola Castillo, we have Shelly Rubin. Congratulations. And because we want every single person attending tonight to feel like they're leaving a winner and have won something, all of you are going to get a coupon code for 10% off all 6 of the makers' websites, as well as me, the host, and our co-host. So at karlagudeon.com, swanandstone.com, the coupon code for 10% off all 8 websites, 7, I believe, because there's an overlap with Swan&Stone, is going to be today through March 24th. So head over to our websites, treat yourself, friends, do something special because you deserve it, and get some great gifts. And the coupon code for today's party is 318 Art Party. 318 Art Party. We're also going to send a follow-up email to everyone with this code and link to the websites of everyone at today's party. I'll just remind you that if you did unmute and you have background noise and you mute for us, we would really appreciate it. We have one more day of parties this week on Saturday. Very exciting. Please come. We have Gina Panorfi, Ariel Brackett Jewelry. We have somebody first-time APCer. Vespertine NYC, Francesca Vitali Paper Jewelry, that's my earrings, Suchi Pottery, and Jennifer Lipman Bruno Design. You can RSVP to attend Saturday's party at artpartycentral.org. And I want to thank my friend, co-host, and APC founder, Sam Stone, for helping out today. You may not have seen much of her, but she was in the background making sure everything was running smoothly, putting the links into the chat so you can visit the website. And I so appreciate it. And I also know that I'm speaking for all our presenters tonight when once again we say how much we appreciate you being here, supporting our platform and supporting art. With that said, we have time to answer your questions, unmute, and we're going to start the after party. We know you're busy, so those of you that need to leave, we understand and wish you a great evening. Those that are going to hang out, unmute yourself and let's chat. Sam, do you have any questions just for starters, and then we could bring it to the open chat?
So believe it or not, every single time I wrote down a question that came up in the chat, you got to it. But Marjorie, if you don't mind, I have been dying to split screen spotlight Marjorie and Nora because there was a little bit behind the scenes happening where Marjorie was sort of cycling through.
Oh my God.
So she was cycling through different Swan&Stone hats, and I was sort of watching, being like, I want to spotlight you so badly because she bought them all.
Oh, she's so fabulous. I remember each and every one of them, my darling.
So I couldn't not do that. And of course, you know, now Nora gets to show off her dog.
Yes, my.
Look at that. Look at how cute.
So great. So great.
Look at Liz with her cat.
Liz, oh my gosh. How many spotlights can I do? Let's see. Oh, and Liz in her hat with a dog.
In her hat and her cat.
Cat. Everybody mistakes her for a puppy. I don't know why that is.
Well, you know what I saw, since you were so little, I was thinking like Boston Terrier.
Yeah. Here she is.
That.
She's a year old. She's feeling her oats. She's like a teenager.
Oh my gosh, look at this one.
Oh yeah.
I love it. All the fascinators.
Yes.
It's just fantastic.
Now you're making me want to do a whole round of fascinators and cocktail hats.
Yeah, I think we need to have a formal party, and we all need.
Yes. Oh, that looked
fascinating.
So ready. Yes. I'll wear my cocktail hat.
Oh my God, I love it so much.
Hats and cats. There's a children's poem in there somewhere.
Right.
Somewhere.
And Nora, for 2 seconds before we move on, do we have to be concerned about the feathers? Are they super fragile?
No, not at all. They're much more robust than you would think by looking at them. You can they'll last forever. I've got Victorian hats with the feathers that are just fine and dandy still. If you find that some of them have gotten flattened slightly, you can use the steam from your tea kettle and just sort of gently hold the feather arrangement in front of the tea kettle, not enough to soak the feathers, but just enough to let the humidity sort of reassert the nature of the feather, and you can sort of stroke it in a direction.
Well,
ooh, wait, that was a metal one. Ooh, that one looks good. Sorry, I get distracted by Marjorie's fashion show.
That looks lovely.
I could watch this fashion show all day, but I want to move on and make sure that we get all our questions in. Before I ask Shana a question I have, does anybody else have a question they just want to unmute themselves and
I want to ask a question to Lula. I'm sorry.
go ahead?
About how you turn citrus peels into jewelry. Oh, she's not here.
Sorry, did I just do the wrong?
No,
there you are. Karla.
Okay, so good question because I've been working on it. So I have the raw peels here. So what I do is I use, before the pandemic, I used to recycle from a juice bar, but now I use my own. So what I do is I use the halves, I scoop out the white part. And what I do is I do like a strips. So this is the raw peel, right? And I roll it in different ways. So what I do is I pin it. You can see here, I pin it. So it stays when the weather is nice and hot. So I can have it 2 days under the sun. When not, I bake it. So this is the shape and you can see the peel. Sometimes I work with the inside, sometimes I work with the outside because it tastes differently. So after this process, I boil the dyes and I dip it in, and I have I put a natural preservative, and that's it. And the pieces that are left, these tiny little pieces, I save it for tea. So I use everything on the peels, and I can also do like these little tiny ones. So I pin it, and then it stays. Those are the tiny ones.
That is, you are delicious and that is delicious. That is just, thank you for sharing that process with us and the way you use every part and you honor the fruit. I mean, you are such an incredible human, you know, and as somebody I know who cares so deeply about everything, it's so evident in this process. I love that. That makes me very happy to hear. And are your pieces heavy? Just one last little question for you on that.
No, because actually they're all dried out. So they already take all the moisture out. And if it's the tagua, because I just use the tagua in the middle when it's just one piece, it's not. And also because this is hollow.
I didn't want to take over your presentation, but I could have answered that too, because this is like light as a feather. Like if I get home exhausted and fall asleep in this tonight, I'll be comfortable. And somebody else asked, and again, we want to move on, but we want to give you the one other question that's in the chat here. Can you show us the rainbow options one more time?
Oh, so I have this one.
I need to return this in.
It has all the colors and I really like it more in the short way, like a choker. And the second one I have more, but you can check it on the website, but the ones I showed today are this. And this is the second one. This is the one that has a little sound. This is the second one. I have a long one, this one. This is on the website, so you can check it out. And also this one, they're all on the website. And if also if you need help, you can always contact me.
Thank you so much. And does anybody else have any questions they'd like to call out before we move on? Or I asked Sam if there were any in the chat that I missed.
No, I think, no, you've gotten them. So I
think I see Marjorie's hand up, right? Marjorie has a question.
For Lula, are you still making okay, here's one of my favorites. It's got two different strands and then a petal, a flower in the middle. Or actually here's another with the large blue and then are you still making this style or has that been retired?
Actually, that was retired, but I'm gonna get it again. So I'm working on new colors. I'm working in more like bright colors, but she's coming back. So don't worry about it. She's in the game again.
Okay.
So please I think I have your information somewhere, or also I'm gonna get your email, so.
Sure.
And Lula, there's a couple of others in the chat that you might want to follow up on after we move on. But we're going to, oh, she has one more question. I see Marjorie.
I think you have a triple strand and there were like little triangular pieces. I just went to my drawer and didn't grab it right away, but do you remember, you know what it's not the flat triangles, but the little nuggets on I think 3 strands. Do you want me to go look and see if I can show you what I have?
Marjorie, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think I see a Zoom conference in the making here. And I would love to sit in on that conference because I want everything, but I am going to, just because of our limited time on the after party, we're going to pass it on. I'm sure Lula and Marjorie, you can get in touch with you in the chat, or I can help Lula get your email. But I did want to move it to a question we had for Shana, which was, do you work in series?
So yes, so actually all of my pieces are series. So like for instance, now I'm working on this elongated crescent. This is a more simple, it's my most recent elongated crescent pod series. So I have a whole group of necklaces, and then I'll do bracelets. I even have a set of stacking rings that I just completed, along with, of course, the crescent pod earrings, I think. And I do them in all the different colors and all the different sizes. So if you look through my work, you'll see that all the pieces relate, but you'll start to see that there'll be a group of forms that are really working together in one series, and then they kind of grow into the next and they go into the next. And the thing I really try to accomplish in my work is that, you know, whether you bought a piece from 10 years ago or a piece today, even though that the series and the times are different, the work all really flows really beautifully together, and everything is you can mix and match and wear it together.
I was going to say that I bet it's great for people that do love to match, like the sets, but for somebody like me that likes to mix artisans and mix styles, I could to me, there would be no departure between going from one of your styles and another, and it would still work.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think you can take a really ornate, you know, like this piece, it's super ornate, and then you can put it with,
take that, because I think my answer would be yes.
and you could definitely wear that with a very minimal pod, and the finishes and a lot of the stuff are the same, and so everything really flows really well together. You always get that sense of my sensuous flowing form, whether it's a minimal piece to a more maximal sculptural piece, like something like this.
I see forms, I see figure drawing, I see life drawing paintings, everything in and it's abstracted, but it's so strong and powerful. I love that.
Thank you.
And just one other quick. Do you do buttons and clip-ons too?
Yes, I do buttons and lots of different, here's a tray of them, but I have lots more.
Great.
And all of any of my earrings. So any of my earrings that are buttons can also be done in clip-ins. So the double-sided, sometimes I do them in magnetic, but I don't necessarily recommend it. But I'm actually really well known for my clip-ons because I do so many of them. I do all my styles with a nice, strong, comfortable clip. So if there's any earring, I recommend you contact me directly to find out about the clips, because I often will make them specifically for you.
I think I do that just because you seem like you'd be so much fun to work with. Alex,
trust me, my Zooms are fun. We always have a great time, and they're always enjoyable.
I knew that. Without doing one, I knew that. Alex, are you working on something currently that you can share with us? Give us an art party sneak peek.
Yeah, I can give you a little sneak peek. So I'm working on a new collection that for me was about connecting with my Irish heritage. So it's called Tirnanog, which in Irish folklore is the magical land of eternal youth. And it's going to be featuring this stone. So
Ah.
this is called Yuvarovite. And to me, this is like what a shamrock looks like in the most mythical sense. It's green, it's glittery, and it just has this really glowy, magical feel. So this stone is actually a rare type of garnet. And I'm still working on the collection, so I can't show you any finished pieces because right now it is in a bunch of parts, but I'm hoping to be releasing that collection probably sometime around the end of the month. So stay tuned. And if you want to get VIP shopping access, you can sign up for my mailing list on my website.
I love how you speak to the stone and the stone speaks to you. It's like a conversation, and then it turns out in, turns up in jewelry. And that's
Yeah, definitely.
symbiotic thing. I don't know if that's the right word, but it felt right. I love that. And obviously I love that color. You're so extraordinary. And again, I feel like I'd be wearing you, which I can't imagine that not feeling terrific. And before
sorry, what were you going to say?
No, you go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, I really just love connecting to the energy of the stone, and each one really has their own story. So when I wanted to do a collection inspired by, really by my Irish grandmother that I never got to meet, I knew exactly which stone I wanted to work with.
I love that. Thank you so much. And Christine,
Yeah.
I've been staring. You have that tile behind you.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
More.
I'd love to. Okay, great. I'll give you a close up of that. This is a piece that I made for an instructional video that I did for my local pottery group. They asked me to do a teaching tutorial for the pottery members on how to build a bas-relief art tile. And so the video in its entirety is actually on my website. If you're interested in learning about the technique behind this tile, you can go to the video tab on the website, and it's a really amazing project. It's really fun how I show how I start it from just an image and how it starts as a tracing, and then it goes to become a drawing on the clay. And then I slowly build up all the layers and textures of the plants and the rocks, and how I use actual, right here, you can see that is rosemary impressions from my garden. And that's some other plant that I pressed into the clay. And sometimes I'll actually build the plant up with little tiny bits of clay. But it was a really fun project. And yeah, that's just a fun tile that I wanted to include.
But to me, as an illustrator, that's an illustration that needs to be in a book with a whole series telling a story.
Yeah.
You're an extraordinary artist in every sense of the word.
Oh, thank you.
Finally, we have a question for Lara about, of course, my favorite thing, her sparkle, because she sparkles and her work sparkles. So the question is, does it come off? But just tell us anything you want to about your sparkle.
It does not. The sparkle is it's right into that leather. The leather is so soft, and the sparkle is really a foil that's heat sealed right onto the leather. So it doesn't come off on your hands. It doesn't come off on your clothes or in the weather. So it's just, it's on there. You want to sparkle. It's gonna stick with you on your bag.
I love it.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Lara. And any last questions going once?
No, I have, so Karla, I just have one thing that I was just thinking of. Lara, when you sort of like manhandle your bags, what is that thing called that, Nora, I bet this is the kind of thing that you would know. You know, people were doing these things like comfort sounds, and there's an acronym for it that there was anyway, this was this whole fad.
AWSR, I think, or something like that. ASWR, it's one of those.
My teenagers know it, but anyway, people sit there and they like chew on things, and it's supposed to be like, oh, it sounds so great. Oh, yeah. Handling your, like, I want to just, like, you could have a YouTube video just handling your bags and your leather, and it's like so comforting.
I probably could. you know, it is, and people, I have done reels like that where I did one where it was just sort of, you know, just squishing.
If you crunch your bag and I crunch my necklace, it'll be like harmony.
Exactly.
And Liz has a question. I don't want us to cut Liz off because I saw Liz burning to say something.
And I just want to say I'm doing a different kind of art. On Saturday night, I have a stand-up comedy class, and I just put the link in the chat. So if you can join, I may not be all that funny, but if you come, please laugh, even if I'm not funny.
Of course.
You know,
God, that's great.
I've been, I retired as a lawyer in January. And so now I'm doing a new art.
You're like the marvelous Mrs. Austin.
Mrs. Basil, I'm not that good, I'm sure, but I have aspirations.
That's awesome.